Hi guys, welcome back to TJM. Well, we're back in the Jag cave and we're going to be working on the Rover 75 today. We're going to do a few more things to it. We're going to polish up the headlights, we're going to give it an oil change. We're going to get it up on the 4-poster and have a look what's it like underneath, because we want to get this thing roadworthy in a couple of weeks. Plus a few other things, just smick it up a bit, so stay with me. I've given this about 10 pulls and it's better. It's never going to be perfect, but at least if I can get maybe one of those guys that rubs the dents out. There's only got little small dents to get out there now. I don't want to pull it up too high, but maybe just a couple more there. I can just skip one there and one there. It'll just make it a little bit better, but it's not bugging me as much. Not too sure if this paint's going to come back, but we've got quite a few little marks in it on the boot and the turret. But we'll give it a bit of a buff and see what happens if it comes up. Well, I didn't remove any of them, so I might have to try something else. Well, we're going to give these headlights a bit of a buff up and polish, and I use my little method, but the principle's all the same. You just got to get rid of the old oxidization off the polycarbonate and then polish the new stuff up a bit. Depends on how bad they are. These are not that bad, they're just dull and a bit yellow. I'm going to start off with using a 2000 wet and dry and get all the old oxidized polycarbonate off it, as I said. And then I generally find whatever in the garage, it's a light abrasive. You can use gumption, you can use Ajax, you can use a number of different light abrasive materials to start polishing. But I'm going to use the Autosol aluminium polish. I find this doesn't do such a bad job. And then bring it back, and then I'm going to polish it with some just normal car polish. So let's get stuck into getting some of this stuff off with the wet and dry. And I also use a soapy water, and I don't know if that's going to make any difference. I like the soapy water because you know it's going to just give it a good clean and get the get this nice and clean and ready to polish. So it's going to take a few minutes to get this right off, but it'll be worth it at the end. Well, that's about 5 minutes of rubbing with the wet and dry 2000. So we're taking a lot of the yellow out. They didn't have too much yellow in it, so now we're going to buff them with some of that Autosol. Rub that in a bit. You can hand buff it if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use the little lamb's wool buff on the end of the drill, just a bit quicker. Well, now we can actually see inside the headlight. We can actually see the globes, but let's get to the final step. Well, the final step, I'm just going to use some cheap polishing cream, just car polish cream, and just buff over the top of it. And that should bring them up pretty much like new. Well, how does that look? Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Brand new. Well, that took 10 minutes. From that, as I said, they weren't too bad. I've had worse, to looking good. Okay, second one done. If you find that the 2000's not cutting the cake because they might be a little bit too oxidized, go to 1000 grit first and then go back to 2000 afterwards. And when you're buffing, just make sure you don't burn it, because it's only plastic, it will melt. But if you do get a little burn mark, you can just sand it off again, really, with the sandpaper. But yeah, so all good, both done. Another annoying thing is this grill's got some damage there. That one's bent over and that one's actually cracked, and I might be able to fix that bit, but I might be just able to straighten that grill. Let's have a go at it. So I've just squeezed these little cardboard splints in between the vanes, and then I'll just heat it up with the hairdryer, and hopefully it'll form back into shape again, and then I can just glue the bottom of those broken vanes with a bit of JB Weld. That should do it. So yeah, let's get going with that. Well, I actually lost sound while I was talking to you. Anyway, but so I've heated up with the hairdryer, and she's looking pretty straight now. She's still got the crack in it. I'll get some JB Weld, but it looks a lot better than it did before. Well, let's give the V6 a well-earned overdue oil change. I've got to get it up on that 4-poster though. But before we do that, we've got to get Delta down. She's been sitting up there for a few weeks. Hopefully it'll start. Okay, well, I didn't disconnect the battery, but will she start? Oh, look at that. This thing doesn't draw any current while it's sitting. That's a good thing. We might get a little run around the block because it's been sitting for a while. Just clear out the cobwebs a bit. Now let's have a little look under this thing, make sure it's going to be roadworthy when it goes for inspection. A little bit of surface rust on that silencer, but it looks okay. Little tow hook there, it's pretty nifty. It looks like the carbon canister, that thing there. What's under here? Oh, nice and pretty. Front wheel drive, it's going to be dry at the back there. It looks all right. Brake hoses look okay. Not split, corroded. Muffler, pretty clean. A couple of little... She still has its cover on it. Its skid plate cover, which is a good thing but a bad thing because it means I've got to take that off to do the oil change. So we'll have to get that first. I did see coming up. And look at those brakes, they're stuffed. Those discs, I had it. They've got a lip on them as big as Mount Kosciuszko. And the front, pretty nice and straight though. The front's pretty much the same. They've got some pretty, they're fairly worn too, those discs. Anyway, that's another job. Yeah, it looks like there's 6 screws to take this skid plate off, so we'll pull that off first. Well, that skid plate hasn't been off since Ronald Reagan met Nancy a long time ago. So what's it like up here? It's pretty dry. Oh, a little bit of oil leak there, just a weep. God, look at that oil filter. When do you think that was changed? Oh my God, it is so old. Look at it, poor. What else can we look at? Oh, Jesus, got crap everywhere. Let's pull this back a bit. So, a little bit of a weep there, but that's not from that's serious. I could just dry that. Oh, because there's a drain plug there, so that's where it's coming from. That's pretty cool. But there's something weird here. What's that? Why is there a spongy in there? What's that doing in there? What is that? Looks like it might have been a vent or something at some stage. Where's that come from? Where's that? Oh, Jesus. What is that? Where's that come from? We don't need it though, do we? Right. Look at this. I don't know. It's the air intake, I'd say. Well, let's just snip it off because that's had it anyway. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. Gotta get the camera in the right spot. Can't do it. Do that. Come on, here we go, 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 here we go. Oh shit. Made a mess. It slipped out of my fingers right on the last turn, a little bugger. Bugger. What a mess. What a mess, what a mess, what a mess. Oh man, what a mess, what a mess. I don't even know how much oil this thing takes. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Shit a brick. Oh, far out. What a mess. Oh God. Now the camera's covered in oil. Lucky I got my good t-shirt on, it's covered in oil. I'm covered in oil. Carpet's covered in oil. I think I might just leave oil changes up to oil change people. I've got the Shell Helix HX7 10W40. I particularly like this one, the Helix, especially in the HX7 because it was on special. Well, we've still got a lot of more work to do on this car. The mould mildews cause a bit of an issue, but that headlining will have to be replaced at some stage anyway. But it's actually lumpy, there's bits there, so it really needs scrubbing a lot. But we're just going to clean it up a bit more. However, these things are a pretty cool car. They had a lot of features. I still think they're a bit of an old man's car in the shape wise, and I'll never really ever, don't think I'll ever fall for the shape of these things. But it's a really sad story with the Rover 75 and the demise of Rover and Austin and MG. Well, MG is still produced in China now, but Okay, we're back in the big smoke. We'll leave it this week. We'll be back up the Jag cave next week. Do some more work on that Rover 75. It's a tragedy Rover went under back in 2005. I think there was about 4,000 poor workers were redundant, and they crushed all the cars that they didn't sell, like brand new cars in the car park. I think there was a runway out in UK somewhere that there's a photo of thousands and thousands of motor cars that were just put through the crusher. I just can't believe someone would ever do that. But at least there's a lot of new old stock parts, which is good, means that they're cheap to get. And Rover, the administrator, I think, sold the engine to that 2.5 litre V6 petrol engine to Kia and a few other motor companies, and that engine still exists today in some new models, so the parts also going to be good. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It really helps the algorithms of my channel. It really does. And leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and if you haven't subscribed, do that too, and we'll catch you on the next episode. See you. Bye.